Today we're going to cover the topic of how we arrived here in Fuerteventura.
Yes, we had a comment on one of our most recent videos from Lady in Black Incognito, and she says, "Love this, thank you very much. I'm new to your channel and I'd love to know your story. Do you live there?"
Well, Lady in Black Incognito.
Why are you so weird when you talk? Talk normally.
I'm trying. Gee, it's not easy to talk on camera.
Normally. You go,
Well,
it sounds like you're reading some erotic novel or something.
Oh, it's Lady in Black Incognito. It sounds like an erotic novel. So yeah, I'm trying to be as normal as possible. If I sound not normal, it's not my fault. Mate, I'm not a radio presenter.
Yeah, you're really bad at it.
Really bad.
You're actually terrible. Today's video, guys, we're going to tell you our stories as to how we got to Fuerteventura.
Yeah, but we did that.
Yeah, and then you fucked it. I know, let's go back to the beginning. So, Harry and I are both born in Brighton and we went to school together. I met Harry in primary school. We were probably about 8 or 9 years old, I think.
Yeah, we're 9.
And you know when that new kid gets added to your class? So Harry came into my school and he was the new kid and the teacher paired him up with me as my buddy. And you know when the new kid gets paired with you and you go, oh, for God's sakes, yeah. So I had to take him around the school for a week, show him around, and unfortunately I never really got rid of him from that moment on.
Yeah. Dave's been following me around ever since.
Yeah.
Followed me here to Fuerteventura.
Brilliant.
So the whole way going through school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had a lot of different passions. Like I loved maths, I loved traveling, I loved exercising like sport and biology. I loved music. And going out through school, I never knew what path I wanted to take. And it was always like scary thinking about going to like university or even getting a job because I didn't want to like dedicate myself on a particular path that I wasn't going to go on. There was no career that I wanted to do. In the end, I always thought I would go to university. My family thought I'd go to university, and like as a last minute decision I decided not to go. And my parents were really upset. My mum actually cried because she wanted me to go so badly and she thought I was missing an opportunity, but in my heart I knew that I didn't want to go. It wasn't for me. I don't think it's a bad thing to go to university, but for me it didn't feel right. And in the end I started to do a few different jobs. I worked for Deliveroo in Brighton, like the food delivery. I worked in Co-op for a bit. I had a cold calling job, which is a little bit ironic.
This is the best story ever, by the way.
It's the definition of irony. So a cold call centre where I was selling devices that block cold callers. That is the most ironic thing. But I learned a lot from these jobs. I learned to like get rejected for 8 hours a day on the phone. I learned
how to Tinder, but
yeah. And I'd also busk on the street in our town in Seaford, playing music. I loved music. I never studied it at school, but I just loved it. And but I carried on busking anyway as I was working these jobs, and I actually figured out that I earned more money busking than I was at any of the jobs, which is pretty crazy. But you know, all these jobs, they were useful, but obviously they weren't what I wanted to do. And I decided to take a gap year, so a year to like go travelling and try different things that you wouldn't normally try. And me and my friend, not David, I have another friend, which is pretty impressive, I've got one more friend. We decided to go travelling around Europe by bike. We went through France, Belgium, Holland, and back down through France into Spain. And when we were in Amsterdam in Holland, Jerome and I, my friend Jerome, we stopped at a cafe to have some food, and I met a girl there. And we got talking, and she told me she was going to move to Fuerteventura. I didn't even know what Fuerteventura was.
No.
And she said it's one of the Canary Islands. She said she's going to move there, and I said, oh, like that's pretty cool. She's going to move from Amsterdam. She's Italian, living in Amsterdam, moving to Fuerteventura. And that was it. We spoke for the rest of the time we were at that cafe. We actually invited her out for dinner, so we had dinner all together. And then Jerome and I left and went cycling, carried on down to eventually into Barcelona. And anyway, after we finished the whole trip, I was talking to the girl from Amsterdam, and she said, oh, I'm moving to Fuerteventura next month. If you want, come and visit me. And I thought, okay, like, might as well go. I'm on my gap year, I'll go to this place called Fuerteventura that I'd never heard of. And so I booked my ticket. The next month I went, and actually went for a month. And I remember when I arrived, going on like the bus out of the airport, and it was the evening time, so you can't see anything, it's just all black. You can just see like the volcanoes and mountains, and I was like, God, I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I got the exact same feeling when I came here for the first time. It was in the middle of the daytime, but I could just see sand all around me, and I thought I could never live here, like there's nothing here.
Yeah, it just like, it is a desert island, but it literally like,
yeah.
I mean it literally is as well. But so anyway, came here for a month, and in that month, I was just like traveling around the island, having a look, and it was really beautiful, and I loved it. And one night, I decided to go out jogging with her name's Jada, with her sister, and we went out running. And as I was running past Rock Island Bar, and I heard the music coming from the bar, but I'd never been in. I didn't know what Rock Island was. So I followed this music, popped my head into the door, and those of you that have been to Rock Island before might know Johnny Dale, where Johnny Dale was playing. And it was a packed night, there were tons of people, like sardines in there, you know, all quiet. And I was there at the door in my running shorts, sweating, and Johnny stopped playing as he looked at me in the corner. He just started making tons of jokes out of me, standing there sweating.
Does that, yeah.
If you know Johnny, you know what I mean, just making jokes. Everyone was laughing at me there, like he was just completely destroying me. And me there, like trying like to think of something witty to say, I said, I can show you how to sing if you like. And everyone was like, oh, you know, like if you can imagine like the crowd. And Johnny looked at me and said, okay, come on then, come up and sing. And the moment before he started making jokes at me, he just started to play Folsom Prison Blues, like the intro, like down, 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 down. And I said, okay, yeah, play Folsom Prison Blues and I'll sing it. And like, coincidentally, that was one of the songs that I sing, like one of the main ones that I would sing. It was like it was meant to be. And he carried on playing Folsom Prison Blues. I sang, and it went really well. And I ended up singing the whole night, that night, with him. And it was a really magical moment because I didn't know anyone. I was also just running, and like, it just all happened, and everyone was really excited because I was this guy just running like appeared. You know, it was a really special night. And after I finished, some people said, oh, you should come to the piano bar and sing, and someone else said, you should go to Boogaloo down there and sing with Alfonso, and you should go and see Eric. And all these different people were telling me to go to all these different places that I'd never heard of to sing and play music. And yeah, I decided eventually, after playing in all these different places, just for fun, you know, other people's gigs, that I'd come back and play music here. So it was amazing. I don't know, it just felt like it was meant to be, you know, in the right place at the right time. It just happened. So after playing that night with Johnny, I realised I could play all these different places, and there was so much music on the island and loads of great people. And in the month that I was here, just visiting Jada, I ended up playing an actual gig in Boogaloo, and it went really well. And he said, if you come back, you can play with us twice a week. And I thought, oh my god, like that'd be amazing to play a proper gig playing music here. And I did it. I did the one gig when I played, and then I ended up coming back to play in Boogaloo, Rock Island, Galera Beach, Sunset, and I've been here ever since.
It's because in our we're in a small town just outside of Brighton. Like in our town, you were busking a lot on the street, but there's no like live music in bars where you could really like have regular gigs and stuff. It was just what you earned on the street kind of thing. So I think when you realised the live music scene here in Corralejo, it really attracted you to it, no?
Yeah, definitely. And the only gigs I got offered were either in Brighton or like one-off kind of things, like either like New Year's Eve, like a little bit, or you know, these one-off like events. But here there's music everywhere all the time.
You kind of realised it could be a full-time job.
I realised I could do it, like as a job every day.
Yeah, and then basically I went down a different route. I was like a bit opposite to Harry in terms of my whole life. I knew that I never wanted to go to university. I was so sure. My brother went to university. He was like more academic one, and I was never really planning to go to university ever. And then at the very last minute, as Harry said that he wasn't going to go to university, at the very last minute I changed my mind and I went, I'm going to go to university, because I've got a lot of background in like radio, so I do radio shows for different stations and stuff, and the whole way through school I didn't really enjoy school, because I didn't have many subjects that I was really interested in, because you can't study radio and television in school, it's not really a thing. So I did really bad in school and I did really bad in college because there was nothing that I could properly focus on. But when I realised I could go to uni and I could study radio and TV, it was something that I was properly like passionate about. I went and I took the opportunity to do that. So I went to Sheffield. I went to Sheffield Hallam University and studied broadcast journalism and specialised in radio and television. And whilst I was there, Harry was doing his jobs in the Brighton area, and then for my final year of uni is the year that he moved here, or just before my final year, Harry came to Corralejo. And it was my summer before third year. So between second and third year I was in the summer holidays and Harry was here. So I planned to come and visit Harry for, I think it was just a week's holiday. And during that week, I mean, I DJ'd as well back home, as well as radio. I did DJing gigs back in Brighton, like I would do weddings, birthdays, parties and stuff like that in a few clubs in the local area. And so I was DJing in England, but when I came here, I saw Harry play at Galera Beach Bar, and there was another DJ that played after Harry, and I just said to the DJ if I can play for 20 minutes or so, it'd be cool, and he let me play for 20 minutes. And then basically the manager of the beach bar came and offered me a job after that on the back of that. So I went home for a few days, packed up some stuff, and then I came back for the rest of the summer. I came back for 3 months of my summer, and until I had to go back to uni for third year. And in that 3 months, it kind of made me realise that I could work here DJing. I love the island, and so I knew I had to go and finish my degree at university, so I went back to finish my final year for like 8 or 9 months or something, with the idea that I knew that I was going to move here after. I ended up finishing my dissertation, finishing my degree online from here. I moved to Corralejo before I even finished my degree properly. So yeah, and I've been here ever since then as well. But my whole life I never ever thought I would leave England, you know. I never thought I would live abroad. I loved travelling, and I thought travelling was something I was always going to do, but I never even considered the prospect of living anywhere that wasn't in England. I didn't know that in my family, none of my family have really done that, so yeah. I didn't really think it was possible.
I really wanted to live abroad because I'd seen my sister Katie, she'd lived in France and Australia and different places, and I knew that I wanted to travel. Living abroad was a very exciting idea for me. It's very, I wanted to be, I just wanted to travel, you know. And the other thing I didn't realise was like it's possible to like DJ and play music without being at the very top level. Like you don't have to be Jimi Hendrix or like Ed Sheeran, super famous megastar or nothing. Like there's a whole spectrum of jobs in between, and that works with anything you do, whether you're an artist, whether you're, you know, a DJ, a musician, anything, a business. You don't have to be the most successful. There's a whole spectrum of things you can do, and it's not that that would be better. Like I really love my life here now, you know. It's not that, I don't know if that would even be better to be at the top level. Like, so if you have a dream job or something you want to do, don't be put off because it seems impossible, because there's also the whole journey which is entirely possible, you know. So I just didn't realise that moment in Rock Island when I saw Johnny playing there and I saw everyone playing, I realised, oh my god, I can do this. I can do music for a living. It's something that I love, and I was kind of doing it in a way like busking, but it didn't feel the same as doing like a gig where people book you and you get paid and you do it. It feels like more of a proper job.
The gig is to a live audience. Before you were playing in the street to people that would walk past, maybe stop and watch you for a song or something, but you're playing to a live audience now, people that come to a
people will come to see you, or they come to the bar and then they'll talk to you and say how much you changed their holiday, and now people come on holiday and they come to see us, and it's like, I don't know, it's nice. So and it's doable. So if you're someone that wants to do something like that, just know that it's definitely doable. You can do it.
Quite a deep inspirational message.
It was, wasn't it, in the end?